This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, my name is Joel. I'm a real alcoholic. I heard this woman speak several times, and man, she could suck a teeth. She's somebody I'd love to hang out with. I mean, if we were partying back in the day, we wouldn't go home. Anyhow, I've asked her if she wanted someone to introduce her. And Mary Jo, would you please come up and introduce Leslie, please?
I am Mary Jo. I'm an alcoholic. I met Leslie during the pandemic. She is my sponsor. What she gives out is not just, she lives this program in every single aspect of her life. Like I strive for sobriety like hers when I grow up in this program. I'm coming up on 20 months sober, and I've been around this program for about 5 years, and I have learned a whole new level of sobriety through her and through her teachings. And she's led me to a more spiritual path. And her spirituality is just something that I strive for. It really is. And the way she works this program. So with that, I give you Leslie.
Ooh, thank you, beloved Mary Jo. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everybody on here that's got a day sober. My name is Leslie Strange. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Oh, there I am. Wow. Okay, I'm pink tonight. I'm a recovering alcoholic. My sobriety date is November 2nd, 1988. That means I have 34 years of continuous sobriety, and I've been graced with the blessings and the mercy of the Most High, whatever you want to call it, just don't call it Leslie, of God. And that means I came in one time, got one white chip, and I remained to stay. How did I do that? We share in a general way the best we can with the best memories that we can as to how it went. Now, if somebody else was watching my story from the outside, they'd be like, no, that didn't go like that. I don't know about any AA, but we don't know exactly when, how, and where, but we know something happened. Something happened to me that November 2nd, 1988. I was 28 years old and I was fed up. I was done. Alcohol didn't get me sober, and the weed stopped working, and I'm one of those that's dually addicted, and all those other party favors. Nothing worked. That final run, nothing worked. I took that drink, I took that hit, I did that, all the things that I normally do in my little pomp and circumstances that I created my own little science, and nothing worked that night. Now I don't know that I was surrendered. And I didn't know at that time. I didn't know that that was it. I just knew that what I was doing at that time wasn't working. What do I mean by working? For anybody in here newer than me, what it means by doesn't working, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'll be referring to that a lot, is in the doctor's opinion, it talks about, I am restless, irritable, and discontented. Those are all emotions. I'm restless. I'm irritated and I'm discontented until I can take a drink, hit, fix a pill of something, have sex with some random guy, something, go shopping, do something to give me that sense. We're talking about emotions again, that sense of ease and comfort that comes right at once. See, in the beginning, it came at once. You know how it is when you go to the club, you had a rough day at work, everybody got on your nerves, the job was looking like they were going to suspend you, your boss was on your butt, the kids were getting on your nerves. I didn't have kids. Just life was just too much. I had to have that drink to give me that settling, that. And that drink worked, that power worked, that spirit worked. That's why they call alcohol spirits. Those things worked initially in the beginning. At 20, in my 20s, it was a party. It was a big, let me go out and shake my blues away, shake my groove thing, go to Boogie Wonderland. Yeah, I'm referring to some songs. Go someplace where I can shake this off and I can get out of this moment and this feeling that I did not like. Alcohol was a great negotiator. It worked well. Until it stopped working. Now, I don't know about those of you who want to come in and out, and that's fine, or not that you really want to, but you have no choice in the matter. You come in and out. I don't know what it's going to take, because the first thing that I learned is can't nobody surrender me. No one can make me give up. No one can teach me how to be willing, because if I'm pretty sure Bill and Bob would have came up to chapter to learn how to become willing, or chapter to learn how to become surrendered. I just know that in my life and in my travels and working with others, I see that surrender come, and it's not sweetly reasonable. I got to run into a brick wall head first, straight trauma. There's something about the lessening of self, the humiliation, the 72-hour forgetter. I forgot what I was like 3 days ago, and I go right back to it. What is wrong with me that I can't stop, stay stopped, or not even get started? There's something wrong. I didn't have a clue. I was so green when I came into the recovery world. I didn't even know the Serenity Prayer. Now, mind you, I know a lot of standard prayers. I know the Our Father, I know the Hail Mary, I know the Stations of the Cross. I'm a recovering Catholic. I know all of that, Dominus and Latin and all of that, but I just did not understand the words that I would utter. It was only because those teachers and those priests and nuns told me I had to do it. I had no clue about what God was, other than he was petty. He was watching everything I did. He had a big chalkboard and was writing down all my sins, and I was going to die and go to hell. So why am I even bothering trying to be good? Because this is an end all situation anyway, right? So I forgot to stop my clock. I'm so sorry. So my world looked dim and dark. I drank when I didn't want to. I drank when I wanted to. I drank when I swore off. I made a firm resolution. I'm not getting high with those people anymore. It was you guys that was messing it up. It was that place over there I got loaded at. It was everything outside of it. Was definitely my mother. Oh my God. I suffer from the disease of motherism. If it hadn't been for my mother, I'd been okay. If she hadn't have gotten married 5 times and didn't know where love came from, I'd be okay. If I had my dad in my life, I'd be okay. If I had responsible adults who didn't beat and abuse me and traumatize me, I'd be okay. Not one time did I have the wherewithal to know. Like Bill said in his letter, it wasn't the circumstances, and it wasn't the people, and why can't I be okay even when life is a mess? I'm going to take you on a quick journey with me to show you how emotional maturity has impacted and transformed me again. Now, see, I transformed from the using alcoholic, and the girl who was chaos just followed me like Pigpen. Y'all know Pigpen and Charlie Brown. He always had that cloud, that dust, that depression, that impending doom. Uh-oh, the other shoe's gonna drop. That's how I walked around. I didn't know that until I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and you guys showed me what the cause was. I never knew any of this until I came into the rooms. But it was something about my first meeting, from my very first meeting. I was so excited, and I was so glad to be around people, because my drinking and my using days is the great separator. It separates me from people. I started drinking in the house. I wouldn't leave home without it. I would crawl around on the floors. I hated daybreak and I hated birds. I don't know about y'all, but I hated daybreak. And I so had Mary, I hated them mini blinds. People had many, some of y'all do right now. Got those raggedy ass mini blinds. They got and they all broke up because you're so busy tweaking. You're looking at I'm bad. Can't show up to work. Show up to work, and I don't even work when I'm at work. I mean, it was just a succession of horrible. And then the worst thing ever, did not know that alcohol and those other party favors were depressants. No wonder when it's all over and I don't have any more, I'm in a fetal position. No wonder when it's all over, I feel sad and sorrowful, suffer from self-pity and self-loathing. I like to walk around being the victim. I want I learned from listening to other women who are victimized, they want to throw a pity party that never ends. I was that girl. I want somebody to feel sorry for me. I want you guys to put me on your lap and baby me. I want somebody to hear my story, hear my complaints, and agree with me. I'm not looking to fix. I'm not looking to get better. I just want pity. There's something that says in the big book Alcoholics Anonymous, somewhere around page 62, they talk about the different forms of self. See, I can't judge myself because I can't see my own ears. I can't see my selfishness, my self-seeking, which is the root of my problems. I can't see all the different forms of self that affect the way I interact with people. I can't even see that even with my best self, I'm still going to be self-loathing. I'm going to suffer from low self-esteem. I'm going to suffer from low self-worth. And when you suffer from all of that, guess what you attract? You attract people who treat you like crap, who don't esteem you, who don't give you any worth and value. They use you like toilet paper and throw you away. In fact, they flush you. This came off the top of my head. That was a good analogy to me. The people that just instantly hurt you. And they told me in the book, we place yourself in the positions to be hurt. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like walking around hurt all the time. I really desire peace and I really desire serenity, but I just don't have the tools and I just don't have the power to pull it off. Oh, I'll have glimpses of it. I have itsy bitsy pieces of it, but I want that continuum. I want that constant. How do I get that though? Well, you guys told me the reason why I suffer from all these things is because I'm blocked from the power that can give me all of that. There's something, I call it the source. I call it the nameless one. I call the one with no name. I call it it. I call it something. There's something in this universe that's running this world. That's something I've been disconnected from most of my life before I came into the rooms. Until I came into the 12-step program, I didn't know I had a disconnection with power. I didn't know I had a disconnection with people. In fact, if you'd have asked me that, do I believe in God? Guess what I would have told you? Absolutely. In fact, I'd have been insulted for you asking that question because my egoic, arrogant, sick, twisted mind would like to say that you don't know me. I believe in God because, you don't want to be known as not believing. But I found out through you guys, my biggest problem is I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Because I have to take matters into my own hands. Anybody ever get paid and they don't have enough money and you got to hold on to the next payday? So you got to do a quick come up or you got to hurry up and rob Peter to pay Paul or borrow money that you can't really owe back. This guy's taking too long. See, I'm that girl. So how do we get to emotional sobriety? I like to call it the final frontier. That's the last part of getting sober. Growing up, filling out your shoes, growing up, picking up your cross and bearing it. In fact, carry your cross, just don't get up on the cross because we don't want to hear all that whining and complaining because we need the damn wood. It's cold in here. You understand what I'm saying? This sponsor used to tell me some of the coldest stuff and I thought she was the meanest person. She was beautiful. She was awesome. Betty T, I was with her for 26 years and she used to say, baby, you're blocked. No wonder you can't get with the power that gives you joy. I don't want just happiness. I want joy. Happiness is when you get ice cream. Joy is just because I feel good. I want just peace. I want serenity. I want to float into a room. I want to feel at peace no matter whether you scratch, belch, chew wrong, blink, talk during the meeting, shorten the meeting, always share, no matter what you do. Can I achieve that sense of ease and comfort no matter what the circumstances are and no matter what the people are doing? That is a goal. And can it be achieved? Absolutely. But like Bill said in his letter, it takes one thing, and that's everything. It takes restraint of pen and tongue. It takes a toolbox of spiritual tools that you learned from your sponsor from the meetings. It takes the what do we call it? Forgiveness. It takes radical self-seeking and radical forgiveness. I mean, unheard of phenomenon, forgiving the unforgivable. Are you kidding me? Now I got to be Gandhi around here? No, you ain't got to be Gandhi, but you got to be Leslie with a God mind. Somebody in the back hears me, don't they? Oh, I went through some things and I'm going to tell you some of my personal stories to let you know that I've grown up a whole lot. But see, I'm the girl that when the relationship don't work, let's talk about emotional sobriety because that's the final frontier, but that's the biggest thing I can get loaded on. Baby, let him not want me no more, and I'm not ready to let go. He's gonna have scratch marks on him where I tried to hold on to the relationship until he bled to death. You're not leaving me because my ego, listen to me carefully, my ego says you're not leaving me even if I don't want you because I don't want to look stupid and I don't want people to talk about me and I don't want to feel less than, but I do all the symptomatic less than isms to keep something that doesn't want to be with me. My agnostic temperament, it talks about that in We Agnostic. Is like, I'm full of faith when everything's working right for me. But when stuff goes south, all of a sudden I start relying upon my own knowledge and my own information. So I get sober and I start working through the steps and I get a sponsor and I get into the big book studies and I start hanging out with you people and going from one fellowship CA meeting. And I'm mentioning stuff. This is my story, going to an AA meeting and going over here and going over there. And you guys are just trudging with me. I'm having a ball because for once I get to be among people. I had isolated so much and so long, I hadn't seen people. I was down to 80 pounds. I was too ashamed and embarrassed to leave my house. That's how ugly I felt. I hadn't looked at myself full on in a mirror in years. But I came into the rooms and you guys didn't care about what I looked like. You didn't care about what I was wearing, but you said, come on in here and tell us about yourself. And you guys really and truly listened to me. And you shared your stories and you shared those most embarrassing moments like, oh my God, you did that. See, I'm the girl that gets with a guy. I was 10 years sober and my first husband before we got married, we broke up. And if you're anything like me, I like doing the emotional hokey pokey. Anybody doing that right now? You put your right foot in, you take your right foot. I'm gonna be with you this week, but I'm gonna quit you next week. And then we gonna get back together. And then I'm gonna put you out because you moved in my house because I like power. Then I'm gonna ask you to come back and your dumb butt comes back. Or you leave me and you get with another girl, but I want you back because I don't want you and I don't want her to have you. So I'm gonna come back. And I keep beating my head against the wall over and over again. And I'm tearing myself up because guess what? I don't like me. So I succumb to the egoic mind and the resentments. And the biggest thing that Bill mentioned in that letter was fear. Oh my God, that F word. And it's not the other F word, it might as well be. That fear will make you act out on a defect of character, baby. Next thing you know, you're jealous because of fear. You're envious because of fear. The 7 deadlies are coded with fear. Fear is the corroding thread that runs into my emotional immaturity. You know, Bill is so sick with it. Let me tell you what he did in the 12 and 12. Don't tell nobody I told you. He called us stubborn and stupid. I said, Bill, clutched my pearls. I said, no, you didn't. He said, we are children of chaos. We like drag, drama, BS, and confusion. We cannot. Some of us are so comfortable in being uncomfortable, we don't know nothing better. I said, well, that's kind of sick. The sponsor said, yeah, there's 5 types of alcoholic. And in that description in the big book, in the doctor's opinion, it was in there. They talk about the mild drinker. I was one of them. Then they talk about the hard, real alcoholic. Then they talk about the psychopath and the manic depressive who book can be written about us. And I get so many women that tell me all their diagnosis and talk about trauma. That's the N word now. And now everybody's calling each other narcissists. You know, I called my sponsor one time and I was reading about a psychopath because I'm real smart, but not real smart. So I look up what a psychopath is, and that's basically a person who's unwilling to admit their faults and see their harm. You know, everybody's calling everybody a narcissist, but ain't nobody got no PhD at the end of their names. I hate trending words. I'll shoot a trending word. You know what I'm saying? But sponsor, I said, wait a minute. She told me a story. Listen to this emotional insecurity, sobriety, lack thereof. There's a guy that went to pick a girl up. They had been dating on the phone for a long time. She loved him. So I go over to her house and he's coming to pick her up for a big, big date. He had a big surprise for her. I go over to her house. She's so elated and excited because she missed the flags. I don't know about y'all, but don't y'all miss the flags? How you gonna be a victim when he told you who he was in the first 2 dates? When she told you how crazy she was in the first 2 dates, but that's a whole nother story. I'm just saying. So he comes over to pick the girl up. He's got on his cool Kenneth Cole suit, sort of like Rick Rowe right there. Had on his beard was shaped and his hair was coiffed and he looked good and smelled good. And I walk her outside and she got on a cute dress and I fixed her hair and makeup. And he had this high-end car. He puts her in the car, gives me flowers, gives her flowers. He has a whole setup and he waves and I wave and they pull off. I said, I'll be here till you get back. And she's waving. And a couple hours later, I'm looking at breaking news on the news. The same man with the same suit, but the coat's over his head. He's got on handcuffs. And the cameras are all in, and the microphones are all in his face, and they're saying to him, sir, do you have anything to say about those bodies that they found in your car? And they found you killing the girl that you just met. And he looked up slowly at the camera and he said, yeah, she shouldn't have went out with me. That is the epitome of a psychopath. One that cannot see their own. So I called my sponsor, Betty T. I said, wait a minute, Betty. It's in the big book, and it's not true because it's in the big book. But if it's in the big book, then are we all psychopaths? I mean, we ain't killing people, and we're not John Wayne Gacy, and we're not Jeffrey Dahmer in it, but we are not admitting stuff because I have to do a whole inventory to see myself. And she to me, and she said on the phone, she said very quietly, and I heard it like a resounding clap. She said, yes, babe, I'm a psychopath, and so are you. I said, wait a minute. I can't control my emotional natures. And then when I have a tantrum or a fit, it's your fault. And it takes an act of God, literally, for me to be able to pick up a pen, to be willing to look at my poor step and look at my resentments and my fears and my immoral sex conduct. And then it takes another act of God of turning it over and calling somebody and reading it to me. And I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. The numbers are going to fall off the steps and I'm going to be reviewing myself the rest of my life so that I can grow up and match and catch up with my 62 years of age and not act 22. She says, yes, baby, you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. In fact, we don't want you to stop. You're going to be doing this kind of self-examination and reviewing your behavior for the rest of your life. And in fact, 3 days after you're dead. And I said, well, why am I going to keep doing this 3 days after I'm dead? I think she's going to go into Easter and all that. She said, no, because we want to make sure you're still not lying. Example. I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and that first husband, he was kind of a messer arounder kind of guy. He was in the program as well. And my sponsor used to tell me things like, ask God for God glue for your mouth. Beginning of emotional sobriety is learning how to STFU. If you don't know what those acronyms are, ask your teenage child or your grandchild. Learning how to restraint of pen and tongue. Pause when agitated. And some people say, I can't do that, especially if you're challenging my ego and you're mad at me and I got something to say. It's got to get you back. No, it takes practice. You cannot be a virtuoso pianist unless you practice. Yeah, you'll hit the wrong keys, you'll say the wrong things, you'll fall off the bicycle of emotional sobriety, but it's about getting back on and realizing what you should have done instead, i.e. the nightly review. What could I have done better? What should I have done instead? And then calling my sponsor, even when I make those big mistakes, and we review how we could have rehearsed and done it better. I love learning because I'm a seeker. I want to know better so I can be better and do better. So the guy I got with, he was messing around, and by that time I had 10 years in, and he would butt dial. That's back when they had the phones that could butt dial, and he actually called me, and I'm listening to him talking to a girl in his car. Yeah, baby, so we're gonna get together and all that. I got a sponsor, thank you, God. So I call my sponsor. I report everything to her. Then the next time he butt dialed again, called the house phone when we had a landline, and it went into the voicemail. I'm checking messages. We're living together. I have a baby, so I'm already hormonal. So he's to be stabbed, but I didn't do that. And all of a sudden, listen to the voicemail, and there's another girl. And then let me tell you how emotionally immature I was. Then I got his passcode to his phone. It was his damn birthday, big dummy. Guess what I did? I called and checked the voicemail. Well, he's so dumb, he didn't even know the messages were saved. I was just listening to all these girls because he would travel a lot with his job. And all these girls, hey, when you coming back to Texas, boo? Oh, what you doing tonight? I called her, Betty, I'm listening to all these voicemail and it's all these girls, because I'm a victim now, right? Now I've been through the steps, got sponsees and all that, but I'm still emotionally, forgive me for the R word, retarded. My growth has been retarded in the emotional area that I cannot expand past my emotional space I'm in. So I called her and I said, what do I do? I keep checking his voicemail and it's all these girls. These girls that are calling. You know what she said? She said, baby, how often do you call and check the voicemails? I lied. And I said, maybe once a day or so. I was calling every 5 minutes. She knew that. She said, okay. I said, so what do I do? Because see, if you're emotionally shaken like me, I want you to give me a step to write. I want you to give me a prayer. I want the microwave solution to get me up out of this space I'm in. I want to feel better. They told me this ain't a feel good program. It's a get better program. I want to get this up off me, this angst, this feeling. I don't want to drink, but these are the things that drove me to drink. And what do I do? And Pastor, what do I do? And I'm thinking she's going to give me a magic elixir, a combination of a little writing, a little prayer, a little levitating and all that. She said, no, baby, I want you to keep calling it. I said, keep calling it. She said, I want you to keep calling it. In fact, I want you to double up on how many times a day you calling it. I'm crying. I said, why would you tell me to do that? She said, because baby, there's nothing we can do until your ass hits a bottom. Emotional sobriety starts with, just like my regular sobriety, it starts when I surrender. It starts when I'm tired of coming up with ideas. It starts when I stop trying to manipulate. It starts when I stop trying to make him jealous to get some kind of feedback or make him want me. My value, my internal value was based on the external thing of what he would do for me. God told me something so cold one time. He said, I can't make you happy. Anita P, I can't make you happy. But he told me, but I can add to what you already are. So if you're already effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, those are the acronyms, fine. If you're in that and you're expecting another human being, it's too much power. I don't want nobody needy and necessary like that. In fact, the 12 and 12 talks about over dependence upon people is going to disappoint you every time. What I have to do is do this work, because once I start doing this work, you want to build esteem. You want to build confidence, not self-esteem, not self-confidence. This is Leslie's work. I don't want nothing to do with self, but I want God confidence. I want God esteem. I want God dependence. I want it all to be based on God, so I won't be transformed when you come in the house with a bad attitude. Or I go to a meeting and Michelle C doesn't say hi to me. Now my panties are in a bunch because she didn't speak. Now I got a resentment and I'm not speaking to her. No, that Michelle didn't have something major happen in her life. I'm so full of stuff. I even make negative stuff about me. You ain't speaking to me because you don't like me. What makes me think it's all about me? Well, the solution to the call was this. I called him and I let him know, you need to change your password because I've been listening. And of course, he gaslit me and jumped on my case that it was my fault and I shouldn't be listening and all of that. But I had to be humble and I had to be quiet and I had to take that. Did I leave him? No, because I wasn't done. I wasn't done with him. My sponsors say, stay until you try every imaginable remedy. You know, it's amazing when I hear from sponsees and they're just like me. These girls are so like me that when their emotional life is tattered and torn, they're blowing my phone up 24/7. But baby, when the relationship is working, the kids are acting right, the dog is not peeing in the house, I don't hear from them. I know what that is. That's called self-reliance. And like that reading talked about, I love the reading, and I've heard it before a lot of times. But what I like is that I start relying upon myself and I start giving myself a pat on the back. But when I talk to somebody, I don't chase them down. I don't make any demands or anything. If you ain't did no right, I do like they used to do me. I say, call me when you need me. And I just sit back and wait. And I turn my attention to somebody else. And when they finally call because their ass is in a sling, I'm like, hey, baby, how are you? What's going on? See, because I don't talk about me unless I have to compare something. Let me give you another level of emotional sobriety that I've achieved. I was dating a guy when I was married. I just happened to have a husband in a ring, but that's just another sidebar. It has nothing to do with that. And I was stone cold sober. And my girls have heard this a million times. And I was dating this guy, Thomas, and he was just absolutely fabulous. So I kicked the husband out the house and moved the boyfriend in. 17 years sober, sponsoring, speaking, hanging out, doing all the 12 steps, all of that. And you said, well, wait a minute, what happened? Well, guess what? I didn't apply jack. It was grace that kept me sober. So the husband gets with one of my sobriety sisters. They get to dating. I have a 2-year-old son by this man. But remember, I'm the girl that's so egoic. I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you. Anybody ever been in it? Somebody in that right now. Anyway, so don't judge me, Jewel. So, so he goes and dates my sobriety sister. My sobriety sister, and I get word that they're dating, although I'm in a full hullabaloo with this dude, right? I'm pissed. I called my sponsor. She said, well, meet me at our Saturday home group. I meet her at the Saturday home group. She sits me next to her and I'm just fuming. I'm so pissed. And she said, baby, it's okay. She'd be very calm. See, the sponsor remains very calm during this debacle, self-imposed crisis. She patted me on my leg. And then in comes my sobriety sister. And I see her walk in the door. Now I'm hotter than fish grease. She comes and passes the chair next to her, and the girl sits on the other side of her. We talk about some grown-up woman stuff. Some grown-up woman stuff looks like this. So now I can't fight. I'm acting like I could really tear up. That's how angry I am. My sponsor says, okay, you guys sit right here. And then I ask my sponsor, you want some coffee? Because, I can't sit still because I'm restless, irritable, and discontent. And I asked her, does she want some coffee? My sponsor says, yes, bring me back 2 equals, and turns to her and says, Leslie's going to get us some coffee. Do you want some coffee too? I almost had a coronary. I'm like this. Now I can't show off because it's a packed meeting and I can't fight because I can't risk getting my butt whipped in front of everybody. So I'm standing there like, nah, inside. And the girl says, yeah, like touche. Yeah. So here I come back with these trembling cups of coffee and I give it to both of them. I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. I said, Betty, I can't sit through this meeting like this. Betty said, you don't let nobody run you up out of a meeting. I don't care what you feel like. She said, you sit right here. So the meeting goes forward and it goes on. And now this is after having working steps. This is after all of this good stuff I've done. And I've grown up a little bit, but not quite enough. I'm 34 now. That's almost half my year sober. This went down. And the next thing we know, we're standing up. And as we do, we circle up and we hold hands. And Betty steps back, joins our hands together, goes to the other side of one of us, and we pray the Lord's Prayer. So I'm standing there with my, that's the biggest sin in the world. Take my man. Even though I don't want it. Radical forgiveness. I didn't forgive her right away. I couldn't wait to get out that meeting. I was hot, I was mad, but it was my sponsor, who was the first person in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous I truly, truly trusted. She knew what she was doing. Fast forward. I went to my home group here in Atlanta, and she was there. She's moved from LA to Atlanta now. Oh, we've been cool since then. I've got about 20 pictures of she and I hugging. I called her to check on her, see how she's doing. Ask her, has she done anything in Atlanta yet? You don't understand the maturity that it takes to do that. How about this? I went to visit my brother. My brother's always been the youngest brother. And if you're an older sibling and you've been the quote unquote successful one and your brother's always been in the background, it's just 2 of us. And when I went to visit him, I watched how he's doing, and he was in Milwaukee, and I stayed there for a week and we had a good time. And when I got back, because I feel a little bit of spitefulness. Now, mind you, I made amends to my brother. I made amends to my brother because I stole all of our money, mother's money when I was sober. When she died, I had sold her house and wouldn't give him any money because he was doing drugs. Sober. And so I asked my brother, I said, Chris, when I got back home, I had a lot of quiet time when he was at work, and I walked, and that's how I do my meditation. I don't do the and the burning the candles. I've tried that. That don't work for me. I need to be in movement. I need to be still. I need to read a little something and chew on it a little bit. I need to sit and just think about something I heard in a meeting or something I saw on a commercial, wherever it comes from. I have to sit and be still. But this particular time, the spirit of the universe, it wasn't my head talking. It was something deep down where my soul lies. I like to call that my gut. Something said, but Leslie, even though you made amends to your brother in the past, have you ever asked him, is there anything that you don't know about that you need to look at that may have harmed and affected him? God shot, y'all. And so I posed a question to him when I got back. Because I feel a little bit of something. And I said, did I ever make amends to you? He said, yeah, you did. I said, okay. Did I ask you, is there anything that I've done to you that I don't know anything? He said, I don't remember. I said, well, I posed this for your consideration. Maybe if you think about it and you think of something that I may have done to you that I don't know anything about. See, because we forget that is in the big book. That is also in the 12 and 12. Sometimes in the big book, it talks about it in the 9th step. Not only am I making amends, I am also forgiven. People talk about, I need to forgive myself. Self is what got me in this position in the first place. To forgive me. So I do the work and I do the esteemable things and I do the things I don't want to do and not do the things that my egoic mind tells me to do. And I seek other people to see if I can help them, not asking how I can be helped. And I don't do my incessant demanding, love me, love me, love me, love me. Or like the movie Misery, put you in handcuffs and break your ankles so you can stay with me. I mean, love me, love me. We get tired of it. You ever been around some needy people? Needy people are spiritual vampires. They will drain. We got some vampires on here. They just nodding their head because they don't know they're the vampire. But there's some neediness running around this world that can drain the energy of a damn ant. I want to be like that. Veronica to see me coming into a meeting and say, oh, damn, here comes she getting ready to go to the podium and cry the blues. We might as well make her a country western song because she's getting ready to try to make people feel sorry for her. Oh, Lord, here come Leslie. Oh, here come that Joel. He getting ready to complain a bit. This is not exemplary of the program. My brother never came back, but it takes courage to humble yourself. And that is what grows you up. That is what develops you emotionally. That is what keeps me when I'm with Ralph White, and he's older me in sobriety and in age, and he tells me things that I don't necessarily agree. Sometimes I push back, and sometimes I learn how to just be quiet. Can you imagine, Joel? I know how to shut up. Don't judge me. I don't want to hear no comment back there. Don't talk to me, Mary. You know what I'm saying? What happens on this road is bigger than just getting sober, is what I'm saying, my friends. What happens on this venture is that we grow into our shoe size. They used to say early on, and I haven't heard it too much, they say where you started getting loaded, or maybe where you think you might have remembered crossing the invisible line, because nobody knows when they crossed it, that's when you stop developing and growing emotionally. I was a late bloomer, so I started getting loaded about 16, smoking weed, smoking pot, and maybe drinking at a party. So came in here a 16-year-old. Ask yourself how old you are. You 5 years sober. Go to the nearest kindergarten school and sit outside and just watch them. You don't look like a stalker. Just sit outside and watch how 5-year-olds act. They ain't sharing nothing. Then you got the bully that throws sand in people's face. Then you got the little girl that slides down the slide and won't get off the slide. Then you got the one that want to stay on the swing all the time. Then you got the one that don't want to share. You got the one that's crying because they need a nap. Do you know I was 28 years old when I got sober? And I am now 34, and I've almost caught up with myself emotionally. Promises says we cease fighting. I surrender, y'all. I ain't got to fight. In fact, I got a power that's bigger than me that can fight anything for me. My entire disposition, my deportment is that of dependence upon something greater than me to help me to grow up and stay grown up. My sponsor is very zen, and Brenda M talks about being the village elder. They talk about elder statesman, but I like to think of it as being the village sage or the village elder because, see, I like to walk around. See, I always wanted to be a star. I'm from LA. I always wanted to be in movies and stuff. That's why I like Zoom because it's a camera and I've got lights. I get to put on my makeup. Anyway, don't judge me. But, I used to remember the show Candy Camera when they would follow people around and they got America's Funniest Videos and stuff. I always pretended like there was a camera following me, like I was going to be discovered and put on Atlanta Housewife, but I'm too broke. But anyway, I live my life out loud. And I walk the walk as closely as I can because I never know who's watching. See, today, when a fight breaks out in a meeting, because LA got some good meetings, and it's everywhere, where people get to arguing and stuff, and they get to battling and stuff. Guess what, Sally Ann? I get to sit there and go, I'm not getting in that. I stay in my lane today. I stay in God's lane today because, it's almost like I like to use the analogy, and I'm going to wrap up in a minute, but I like to use the analogy. If there's three lanes, there's God's lane, and then there's my lane, and then there's my people's lane. And if I want to change lanes, there's something called what is it called when you want to change lanes? You put on the signal indicator, and that's asking permission to get in somebody's lane. And then when I want to get back into a lane, I put my signal back on. And then when I want to get into God's lane, I ask God, what is it you would have me to do? That's my permission slip to get into his lane to help you over in your lane. But if you don't know signals and I'm emotionally immature and I'm thinking about selfishness, self-centered, self-seeking, all about me, guess what? I'm going to be zigzagging in and out of lanes and I'm going to create hella accidents and there's going to be fatalities. It might be my own. So I like to stay in my lane. Today, I don't have to be the boss of anything, even though I'm bossy. And guess what? Today, I don't have to have the answer for everything, even though I think I know everything. Today, I don't have to get you and convince you that this thing works. You got 106 squares that'll tell you that something's working. I can't work with people that it's like pulling teeth out of a wounded elephant. You ever get anybody that swear up and down they want your help, but they're going to tell help how to help them? I can't. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with bullshit. I just can't. I cussed. I'm sorry. I don't have it anymore. I'm so glad I'm growing up. I'm responsible for other people that come to me and they want to see me walk. I'm so glad in reverse of that walk like I talk, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. I'm so glad I talk so much stuff about I ain't gonna do that. And I get the attitude and the neck popping and the fingers in the air. I ain't gonna do that. I'm not answering her call because she don't want to work no steps and all that. Next thing I know, the phone rings and I pick up the call. I'm so glad I don't always walk like I talk. Because if I walk like I talk, I'd be in total self mode all the time. Emotional sobriety is the final frontier because that's the last part of me that I think needs to grow up. I'm like the commercial. I don't want to grow up. I want to play jacks. I want to pay no damn bills. I want to play hopscotch. I want to play double dutch. I want to go outside and play tag. I don't want to do nothing that's grown up that costs energy. But today, I invite it. Today, I'm happy to be all 62 years and 34 years in. Today, I'm glad I need a partial in the back of my mouth. That means I'm aging. Shut up, don't judge me. Somebody else needs teeth on here. I'm so glad. This is funny to me. I'm so glad that I've come to the surrender and I became a partner with this spirit, with this thing, because I am no longer blocked by self-absorption. And now, since I've done the steps and I continue to check myself and try not to repeat myself and apologize when I'm wrong and forgive the unforgivable and use the radical 12 steps and use the characteristics and the principles behind every single steps. I try so to the point that it's no longer hard. It's just automatic. My default button has changed now. Don't immediately go into self-pity. And some of us, I will say that some of us that are addicted to pain and misery and depression and sickness and the pain body, like Eckhart Tolle talks about, and always wanting to stay the victim and all of that. Some of us can heal because the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous does say when we straighten out spiritually, the mental and the physical will follow. What is wrong here? Oh, I'm not against medication. If you need it, please take it, but make sure you do the steps because we want you to grow up. In fact, I'll say this and be done for real. I want for you what you want for you. You want to sit in the corner and blow snot bubbles and dye pistachio nuts and go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and we can just come visit you once a month and put some money on your books in the jail and all that. Go on and do that. I want for you what you want for you. But if you want to grow up, if you want to mature, if you want to be a representative of your family, your mama, the church, or whatever mosque or synagogue, Alcoholics Anonymous, men, women in recovery, if you want to be, see, you're not just representing you today. What you do in public shows what kind of program you were. And if I'm not in AA and I see you show your entire ass, I'll be a part of that. We make this attractive. We make this sexy. We make this desirable. That's why I have this energy, because this energy, you feel it. You may not want what I have, but please look and see if you want what you got. My name is Leslie Stranger. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I thank you and I'm honored.
Oh my God, that was so good. Okay, Leslie, this is the part in our program where you get to call on people in the Hollywood squares. And if you're in gallery mode, then you can see more faces.
Yep, I got it. Thank you, beloved. Any hands? I'm just a servant. Anybody?
Then we can go to a show of hands.
Show of hands, electronic hands. Don't be scared. Al, Vegas. Come on, Al. I'll get you next, Deborah. Come on, Al.
Alan Alcoholic. Thanks, Leslie. You're quite the dynamic speaker and have been ever since I first heard you. I don't know. When did I blow smoke at you? 05. And thank you for being a vibrant, dynamic, I used dynamic already, example of this program. Excuse me. Really caught me by surprise. My talk on emotional sobriety was very different, and my awareness as well. But you shined a light in some nooks and crannies that are uncomfortable. And if anything, I've learned that's what this is about here. If I can't look at that scary shit, then like you just said at the end, take your meds, but do the steps, because the meds don't treat alcoholism. They treat some other things, but there is no pill that I'm aware of, even though it's been offered to me. Hey, take this one and you can drink like a normal person. Yeah, that's cool. How's that work on cocaine? I want to know. Because they said it didn't. It didn't work on the coke. I can't. Come on. This is almost like a dare. We're gonna point at each other next time we see each other. I know it's coming. Thank you. There it is. I didn't have to wait long. Thanks for calling me out, dear. I heard somebody's next, and I can hardly wait to hit this mute button. Thanks for letting me share.
You're so funny. Alice, hysterical. I love you. Don't blow smoke up me. Talk about your own emotional sobriety thing. This ain't about Leslie Strange. I've already had my 45 plus minutes. Miss Deborah, come on, Miss Deborah.
Hi, my name is Deborah. I'm an alcoholic and addict. And I got to tell you, I love this. I have laughed so hard because a lot of what I'm hearing, I'm seeing in myself. And today, I practice gratitude, and gratitude doesn't mean a list. Gratitude means I show kindness and love to people around me because that's what my God showed me. And I got to tell you, just in the knowledge of that, that keeps me in check because it's not of me. I'm an alcoholic. I'm self-seeking. I'm dishonest. I'm fearful. That's me. That's my self-will. And today I'm living in God's will. And I do everything I can in every minute of every day to be in God's will. And so when I get into self-will and I start feeling sorry for myself and thinking things aren't going the way I want them to, I just remember the kindness and love that my God has shown me. And I want to keep that in my life and in my heart every day. Thank you so much for making me laugh today. Have a good one.
Thank you, Miss Deborah. I loved your share. Miss Pamela.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Pumpkin, I miss you.
Hi, I love you, Leslie. I am Pamela and I'm an alcoholic. And Leslie always says, don't talk about me, but we talk about Bill, we talk about Bob, and we talk about a lot of people that do
Excuse
this
me just a minute.
program.
Can somebody, Joel, can you mute the people who aren't muted? We got some feedback here, babe.
I'm not the host, but one of the
Whoever's
hosts.
the host, Dawn? Yeah, I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, Pam. Sorry.
I'm working on it. I'm trying here. Thank you.
Yeah, Leslie says, don't talk about me, but there's some people, like Ralph says, you got to put skin on it. We talk about Bill, we talk about Bob, and there's some people that, light the light, blaze the trail, and are not afraid to be transparent. Now, I know some people get in here and kick the book, but how they living. And Leslie is not afraid to let you see her fall down, skin her knees, get back up. She talks always authentically. Transparency is evident, and that's the language of sobriety. If you got a third grade education, you can read this book. And I don't need to tell you how to take the steps. I need to show you that the steps I've taken, the steps and how they live in our life. And Leslie said, talk about your own emotional sobriety. I remember when I was going to leave it. There was a lot of stuff going on in this country. There was a lot of stuff going on just in my realm. And I zoomed on to this woman who was not in meetings that hadn't even really started good. It was a 4th step workshop on Sunday nights through the 12 and 12. And this woman, we're all scared to death. We don't know what COVID is. We don't know if they're going to round us up and put us on vans to take us to a remote part of wherever. And she's got this energy and she's bopping and she's talking about this program. And I fell in love, because like I said, everything was disjointed and disconnected. And, AA is a fellowship of the spirit. And in that fellowship of the spirit, she united people literally around the world. And I followed her around the world. I flew to London here. I came to Boston here because when you find somebody who exemplifies what we're talking about, that's emotional sobriety. Like I said, a Paul Pear can read this book back to you. But how you living? Leslie invited me and my sponsors in the middle of a pandemic into her home. She sprayed us down like roaches, but she invited us into her home, ordered Chinese food. We laughed, we talked. And because of that, my mother died 2 weeks ago, and tomorrow's her funeral. And guess who's writing the eulogy? That's why my camera's off. They wouldn't even let me in the funeral if I was still drinking. Most people wouldn't even have told me about the funeral. But because of you all, the 12 steps, 12 traditions, big sister trailblazers, people who bring this message of hope. And it's not eternal spiritual malady that she walks through and deals with and grows through daily. Namaste. Don't you always tease Ralph. Don't you tell Leslie you're my favorite teacher. Don't you tell Ralph you're my favorite teacher. Thank you for being my light, my Eskimo, my big sister, and my walking skin suit of sobriety. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Pamela. I did not know. I am so sorry to hear that. We gotta talk. Dave B. I love you, Pam.
Yeah, Dave, alcoholic. Hey, Leslie, glad to see you. I'm glad to hear you. That fear, the F word. Wow. I mean, that's I like that because that's a lot of my life is fear. And when you said represent, yeah, if we represent ourselves to, this power grid in ourselves, I think that we do grow up a little bit, and yeah, you showed me a little bit of more inspiration about growing up. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Take that F word with you. Spread the news. I'm sorry. Deandra, come on, sister.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deandra. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic. I just wanted to tell you thank you, Leslie, for coming, sharing your experience, with hope, and your honesty. That was a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And I'm not shocked that you're being honest about it. It's just that there's a lot of people in here, 118 people in here at one point in time. You was just giving the truth about how emotional sobriety is something that you still have to, that's your final frontier, and having 34 years of sobriety is a great feat. So I really appreciate you being honest about where you are today, Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you, Deandra, and I got your call. We'll talk. Tiff. Tiff.
I'm Tiffany. I'm an alcoholic. I was trying to give the people that may not know you a chance, but I'm going to jump in. One of the things that I always say around here is that, if I'm not going to be drinking, if I'm actually going to be sober, then, it needs to look very different than when I was before I came in here. And so, I think emotional sobriety, I think I want it more than breathing almost, because I just don't want to be what I was before I came in here. And I have to say thank you. I absolutely love and appreciate you, because, whether people know you or not personally, you don't ever allow people to stay the same, and you do that by being very honest and being very transparent. I mean, you will, cut somebody up based off of what you see, and like you see how spirit leads you, but then you'll build them back up in the same token, and that doesn't happen a lot today, not in 2023. I'm sorry, in these rooms, there's a lot of people who would rather tear you down and leave you there, and you're not that person. I don't want to be that person. And I'm growing up really, I'm really, really growing up a little bit at a time. I mean, I'm just 1 year old, at 43. I'm not 43, I'm 47, one of those. But the point is, I came in here later and I gotta, catch up a little bit. But even with that, I'm just grateful that you're attractive, not just for your 2023 mullet, but just your life. Yeah, I appreciate you and I love you. And thank you to everybody. Thank you for this meeting.
I so love my Tiff. Come on, Martell. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. My name is Martell, and I'm a very, 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 very grateful member of AA. I thank you. I thank who opened the doors to this meeting to get it started, and all who participate. Oh my God, Leslie, I want to thank you. You know what? It was meant for me to catch this. I said I need one more meeting. I thank you for coming out and sharing your experience, strength, and hope, because it had been such a long time. When I first came in, I heard you. Oh my God, it was a whole bunch of people on there. And I was like, I was afraid and I was scared and I was still kind of hiding behind the camera. And this program has truly transformed my life. And I have to practice humility every day, because I'm one of them really know-it-alls, and come to find out I don't know nothing, but I'm grateful I don't, because it's just an opportunity to grow. So I really thank you, and your share is different too. I can tell the difference. So I'm grateful I was able to witness that as well. So thank you, and I'm gonna stick and stay, and everyone be blessed.
Well, thank you, Miss Martell. Love you. Jacqueline Ford. No more hands, he says.
My name is Jackie, and I am a grateful recovering alcoholic. Grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be sober. Welcome to anybody that's newer than myself. My sobriety birthday is August 17th, 1994, and I'm grateful. And I just want to send a shout out to, I'm Leslie Strange's day one, and I wasn't always willing. I wasn't always willing, and I remember her saying, "Are you in the program? Are you of it?" And I can honestly say today I am in it. Because for 9 years, I was a dry drunk and I was of the program. And I just want to say, Mommy, thank you for the steps. Thank you for going through the steps with me, because it has improved my emotional sobriety. I'm not that wretched little girl I was when I first walked in here. Or during them years, that I was just so frantic. I'm not like that. Today, I just trust God, clean house, and help somebody else to the best of my ability. Or worry you to death. I mean, you know how we do it. But I thank you for that. You mean a lot to a lot of women. I'm going to say women because I don't know what you mean to the men, but you've helped me just tremendously. And I just want to say that I am the woman I am today because you, especially when we doing that sex conduct. Today, you taught me how to date. I don't go to a man's house on our first date. And I remember you saying, baby, that's not how you date. I remember you telling me that. And I was in the car crying because I laid down first and got a blast. You said, baby, that's not how we date. So thank you for being a positive, emotional, how can I say it? A positive role model in my life. Like, I totally appreciate you. If nobody else told you today they love you, Jackie love you. Jackie love you real big. Hey, sisters, you guys, that's my sponsor, y'all. That's my sponsor. That's my day one. I am her day one. We ride together. Let me stop. You know how we do this. Anyway, Leslie, thank you so much for the love. I know. Bye-bye, baby. Hugs, you guys.
I have to apologize to Alicia, but Cindy M is going to be the last speaker, the last share.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy. I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic. And for me, it's always good to be in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. I must say for me, the growth that I've had, that I've endured because of this woman by the name of Leslie Strange. When she said she let her sponsees not call or they get in their feelings. See, when I get into emotional sobriety, I am a stone fool. And I've learned that's something I can't ever do because of patience, tolerance, and love, and allowing me to act out till I sit still, did some real work, and let God do with me what he wants. My integrity got better. I started applying these principles in all my affairs. Steps 6 and 7 gave me life. My character defects were removed, and I had some. My character defects are so cold, it's like the wooden forks and spoons that sit on your mama's on a wall in her house. If you're a baby boomer like me, man, when I tell you that I'm blessed beyond measure, This woman has seen me go through a lot. I lost my parents 40 days apart. I put a pistol to my head at 18 years clean and sober. I found love and got married. I'm a recovered cheater. I watched my friend take her last breath. I watched my sister take her last breath. And I have 32 years of recovery. This woman got me when I was 2 years old. If you knew it in myself, older or younger, please stay on purpose. On purpose. No excuses. And with this platform today, Zoom, there's no excuse for an alcoholic like me not to be able to go to a meeting, because I can take this finger and click at any second of any minute and I'm at a meeting. I'm going to keep coming back on purpose. They told me God could and would if he was soft. I work for him today. Thank you for letting me share.
Okay, I had to get that out real fast. That was my mental Tourette's.